ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. And the reason that I'm laughing is because even though I'm massively behind with setting everything up for tonight's live stream, I decided that I would just go live anyway at the same time, which means I haven't even got to doing the cover vote yet. And I'm checking that I've got all the windows open that I'm going to need to have potentially. And I had to try and log into PayPal and get the code while that video was playing, running blind. Obviously, I had to try and get all of the requests from Patreon in order to get tonight's cover video. And the vote is, once I type it in, it is going to be between Silence is Broken and Hero from the Spider-Man movie. So those are the two choices for tonight, but I've still got to set that up. So I can see you guys in the live chat room tonight. Hello to you in there. We have Desert Deluge, Howard, Melody Rocks, Bob's in there, Patrick, Rowe, Kevin, Billy, Allison, Ninja Kitty, Jeremy is in there as well, and Rose S. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me on this Tuesday night. Now, what I might try and do is type this in quickly. Vote for tonight's cover video. Did I make any spelling mistakes? It looks alright so far. Silence is broken, and at least that, let me see if it actually starts it, at least it's a short song title for Hero. And now I'm reading it to see if I made any spelling mistakes, and no, I didn't. So that is all good. The vote is off and running. So let's get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are, and their names go across the bottom of the screen throughout the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and they're the foundation of everything that I do and allow me to do what I do. So yeah, a huge thank you to you guys. Now, the other thing is that last week we had a likes goal, and I know this is going to say exactly the same thing because I haven't managed to change it apart from the Phil Jam, which I did manage to change the number of, which is going to be 265 if we hit the target for tonight. But we didn't hit the target last week, and what generally happens is when we don't hit the target, we then reduce the target for next time to make it more possible to hit the target again. So it's 460. So I'm wondering what we should bring it down to. Maybe 400, something like that. I'm going to go with 400, and we'll see if we hit that tonight. And if we do hit that target of 400, we're going to be having Phil Jam number 265. So if you could leave a thumbs up, then that would be great in order to make some inroads into that target for tonight. And let me get the likeometer up on screen. We have 212 likes already. So thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Maybe we can get a spike of the likes going on. And it means that we're looking for what? 176? No. 186? I don't know. Or 184 more people. I'm going to go with 184 more people. That's my final answer for that. And the likes is going to change, or the likeometer is going to change, so I'll forget the maths. That's it, done, whether it was right or wrong. Now, huge news, but not that huge, but huge news for me because it took me ages to do this yesterday. So we now, over on the Dashery store, the new store that I changed to because Spring were double rubbish and took about 7 months to, I mean literally, to deliver the items that people had ordered. So over on the Dashery store, I have now done, I think, the mugs that we had before, or at least as best as I can. So we've got the Phil Toons mug. So I found the cartoon and the the design for the other mug as well. We've got the live stream Tuesday mug, which is obviously very relevant for tonight, and that says spike the likes on it. And then we have the other mug, which has the logo on the front. Oh, actually, I made a mug that just has the logo on the front and the back, because I think there used to be one like that, but it just had the logo on the front. So I thought, well, we'll put it on the back as well. So there's just a Wings of Pegasus mug with the logo on it. And then there's another one, which is the black and white mug, which says, let's see how they get on. And then on the other side, it says, and there we have it. So those are all mugs over on the Dashery store. And I made a cap, which is just a black cap, but I think you can get different colours, and it's just got the Wings of Pegasus logo on the cap, so you guys can check out that if you want to. So that's what I was doing for most of the day yesterday, on the admin day. It wasn't really admin, it was more moving the images a little bit, saving them, uploading them to the internet or to Dashery, then applying it to the item, having a look at it to see if it was where it should be, but then if it was slightly off, going back to Photoshop, moving it slightly again, saving it, uploading it, applying it to the item, whatever it is, looking at it, and now it's a little bit too far the other way, so I have to go back to Photoshop. So yeah, this is the problem, because on Dashery, the design that's uploaded, like before on Spring, you just uploaded your image and then they put that on the front, and then upload another image and they put that on the back. Whereas with Dashery, it's made so that the design is wrapped around the mug. So if the two images are slightly too far apart, it means that the front's going to be in the center, but then the back's going to be slightly off. So then you need to bring this one in, but then that might push the other one around. So now the front is now slightly off and the back isn't in the middle. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, because it isn't really just as simple as uploading a document. You've got to get the exact pixels space in between both of those, so that when you go through the process of uploading it, you can see that, oh, now it's in the middle finally. I mean, it took 4 or 5 attempts on each piece of merchandise, but at least it's done. And yeah, now we can kind of move on with our lives. So yeah, if you want to head over to Dashery, then the link is in the description below. So yeah, go down there, and you might even see some items from the store in the tray underneath this video, if there is indeed a tray. So, right, now, the other thing is to mention that you don't have to donate, just watching is great. And I know that some people, houses don't see the cap on Dashery. I definitely made one. So I'll have to investigate that afterwards. But it should be an option. I wonder if I can. Actually, this is going to ruin the lycometer. I was wondering if... clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Right. I'm going to see if I can, without crashing everything, copy that. Where could I paste it? Maybe over here. Into another browser. And... cancel that, bring back the lycometer. Okay, and let's have a little scroll down and see what's going on. Well, I can see the cap that is in front of me. It says Wings of Pegasus official logo hat. So that is that. Now I wonder, it does have the London, England thing on there as well. Now I'm wondering if, I could make another cap that just has the logo on there. But anyway, yeah, if you want to get a cap, then you can get a cap. It is up there. So, Angela says, I don't see a cap either on Dashery. But then Cindy says, I saw the cap there. So make sure that you are scrolling down, because I think it is, yes, it's right next to, at least on my screen, the Wings of Pegasus mug. That's the black and white mug that has the London, England on there, and it's next to like a vest. If you want to get a vest, then you can do. So yeah, Elaine says there are 2 caps, different colours. So I am talking about, I'm on the Dashery store here. I'm not talking about Spring. So to my knowledge, there's only one cap that you can get on Dashery. There used to be two over on Spring, but yeah, I'd say only order on Spring if you want to get it delivered in about 7 months' time. And I'm just scrolling down. Yeah, the cap is definitely there. But yeah, if you want to get it delivered in like 7 months' time, and I think if you want to pay more, because I think from what I remember, the products on Spring are a little bit more expensive as well. So Dashery is cheaper and it delivers very quickly as well. So yeah, I'll have to check that out as to whether there are two different styles on the Dashery store. There might be, but I'm sure you guys can jump into it. And I won't do it during the live stream because otherwise I'd just be looking at the screen trying to sort everything and try and find where everything is. And that's not what we do on the live streams. So Elaine says trucker cap and dad cap. So yeah, it's not something that I've... Hang on, let me see. If I click on the cap, whether there's an option to then change the cap. Oh yeah, so yeah, once you click on the cap, you can then change it for two different styles. So that doesn't mean... Okay, yeah, so that doesn't mean that there are two separate hats listed. They're the same listing. So that's where the confusions come in. So because, yeah, saying that there were two hats, I'm looking for two hat listings, whereas I know that I just made one. And once you click on that, you then get the option of which type of hat you want. A trucker hat or a dad hat. And the trucker hat looks a little bit more padded. And it's $2 more. So you're paying $2 extra for the extra padding. So there we have it. Yeah, there aren't two listings of hats, just one listing on hats. So it is as I'm looking at here. Everything. There shouldn't be two pictures of hats going on anywhere. So, right, let me skip that advert that's trying to pop up on screen. And so, what was I saying? Donations, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. But for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below as well. So I will get into the donations that have happened. Paul has donated $5 in the Super Chat window, so thank you for that. And the message is, howdy all y'all. I will be on the catch-up crew. Everyone have fun tonight and spike the likes so I can watch a Phil Jam later. Peace, love and rock. So thank you for that. And Valhalla has donated £10 as well. So thank you for that. And that's a straight up donation in the Super Chat window. And Elaine has donated $5. So thank you for that, Elaine. And the message is, I know your store better than you do, Phil, with some laughing faces. So thank you for that. And I still remain, what I was saying was absolutely true, that there's only one cap there. When you look through all of the products, there aren't two caps listed. You have to click on the cap that I was looking at, and then you get the options. So, yeah, whether they're saying, well, that means there's two, I think Elaine said there are two caps available, but technically that's not true. It's one cap, like the design is just one design, and you can choose between two designs. It's not like having Wings of Pegasus on there and then a Phil Toon picture on there. It's the same cap, but you're just getting a different style. So I still maintain what I said, that there's only one cap, the black cap that I made yesterday, which is available in two styles. It's not a different design on the cap, it's the same cap. But anyway, let's move forward with it. And the PayPal window, we've had a few donations in there earlier when I was trying to, this is when the video was playing at the beginning of the live stream, I was trying to log in, and I did manage to log in, but it's doing this thing again where I go to click on the next donation and then it takes me back to the inbox, and then I have to try and find it again. So anyway, Laura donated £10, so thank you for that. And the message was, Phil, I did some checking, and the name Amelia is the most popular girl's name in Michigan, New York, New Hampshire, and Connecticut. Your audience is waiting. So thank you for that. And now if I click on this, yep, it's just taking me back to the inbox again, which is a pain. So let's click on that. Right, Bryony's donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, yay, the Guffing mug is available on Dashery. I'll be purchasing one once I'm back in. And then the British flag. Cheers, Phil. So thank you for that. And yes, the Guffing mug is the one from the Phil Tunes. So on the back of it, it says, actually, I think on the listing, it might be in the, yeah, I can see it here on the front of it. But now this is where it depends if you're right-handed or left-handed, because I consider the front of a mug to be when I'm holding it in my right hand. But then on Dashery, it's as if you're left-handed. You have to look, then you can see the front of the mug. So I've done it for right-handed people so that the front faces you when you're drinking. So I don't know whether there's a front and back law for the mugs, but it means that the bit that I consider to be on the back, so when you're drinking, people will be reading, ruddy heck, I need a guffing drink. So that's what they'll be reading when you're drinking. So and then it's got the image that faces you when you drink. So yeah. I can see Kevin says, and hats have different colours too. So yeah, there are lots of different options on. I made the black cap because for me, I just wear a black cap all the time. But we have a red cap. That's a striking design. A navy cap. That looks quite good as well. And a bit of a deep royal blue cap. So yeah, you can check those out. And when we get to the dad hat, we have a grey one. They call that asphalt. Black, red, green, navy, and deep royal again. So yeah, lots of colour options. What I'm wondering whether I should upload one that just has the Wings of Pegasus logo without the London, England, because the London, England is really small. So I'm not sure how that's going to come out when it is printed. So maybe you guys can, if anybody gets a cap, you can let me know what the type looks like on the front. If you can see it says London, England, or whether it's too small to read on there, and then I can make another cap that just has the logo on there. So anyway, yeah, it's turned into a bit of a merch live stream, but it is because it's been a very long time since I said that I was going to move over to a different provider other than Spring. And now this is another thing about Spring which is a bit weird. So because I knew that I was going to be moving over to Dashery, I then requested a withdrawal from Spring of anything that was in that account. So people that have bought merchandise that I haven't yet taken out from that particular Spring account, or your wallet. So when somebody buys something, it all kind of adds up, and then you have to request for them to pay the money to you. So I press that, and then the message you get is this: congratulations, your withdrawal request has been received. So I thought, that's a bit weird, because if I'm withdrawing what is my money, why are they saying your request has been received? It's like, well, yeah, but where's the money? And then they say that they only pay out on the 21st of the month. So, of course, because I did this about a week ago, it means that I've got to wait, almost 3 weeks to get money that is mine. So yeah, it seems a bit weird that yeah, I guess with other things like PayPal, because it's your money, you can just go and withdraw it, or you can withdraw it to your bank account, and kind of that's how it always works. And it doesn't say, oh, congratulations, your request has been received. You click on withdraw, and then the money comes out and goes to your bank account. So yeah, it's all a bit weird. So yeah, I'm glad that I've moved over to Dashery, and I'll see how they do it, and I've got to organise it all. But yeah, certainly there are a lot of things about the Spring store that seem a bit weird. Not only the service that is really bad, and yeah, delivery times take really long. Some people, it said out of stock, so they literally didn't have anything that people could buy in the listings. And then other people that might have been, I got sent the wrong mug once. It wasn't a Wings of Pegasus mug, it was something totally different. So yeah, you've got all of these things, and then finally this payout thing, which is really weird, that they're going to hold on to your money until the 21st of every month. Like, imagine that you really needed that withdrawal, you needed that money at the beginning of the month to pay bills, and they say, oh well, no, we're going to wait until the 21st to then pay that out. And I mean, I understand for like companies how they pay it kind of once a month, and that's how they do it. But when it's something like that, for me it seems like, well, it does seem strange you have to wait so long to get the money for sales that have happened. But anyway, well, especially considering that that Spring store I haven't really used in many months, so the money's kind of been sitting there, and now I've decided to kind of empty it all because I'm moving over to Dashery. And then they say, well, we're going to hold on to, obviously holding on to money means that they can make money from the interest on the funds that are in there, so they get 3 weeks worth of interest. And yeah, that's generally how everything works. That lots of different organizations try to hold your money for as long as possible to earn as much. I was about to get political there, but to earn as much interest as they can on your money. And that's something that happened to me with the government here. And what happened was I had overpaid my student loan. So yeah, student loans take a very long time to pay off. So I had paid it all off. In fact, I had overpaid, and they held that overpayment for, I think, almost 2 years. And what happens is when you do overpay, it should be rectified in 3 to 4 weeks, because they'll be able to see straight away that you've overpaid. So they kind of kept quiet about that overpayment that I did, which was thousands. And they kept quiet about that for a few years, and then eventually I did manage to get it back. So yeah, and that process was so annoying and long-winded that I got the money back and was quite happy just to get the money back. And yeah, I think they did give me a little bit extra because of the inconvenience and the fact that they were absolutely in the wrong for 2 years, because they said that there's a problem and it should have been returned within 3 to 4 weeks. So anyway, we'll move on from that, and I'll have to try and find where we were, because this always goes back to the inbox. Right, let me just make sure that was Bryony's donation there. And this one is Steve, who's donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, how do different guitar strings affect playing, such as different materials like nickel coated, or stainless steel, winding types and coatings? Which do you prefer? So thank you for that, Steve. And I mean, strings. I'm one of these people. I'm just going to skip this advert before it comes in. But yeah, I'm one of these people that I haven't deviated from what I started playing with. And with, I'll talk about electric guitars because that's mostly what I play. But I mean, acoustic guitars being more obviously like bronze, and generally I always go for the same acoustic strings, and Martin, extra light, I think they're going to be called. But anyway, back to electric guitars. So always used to get, just because my dad used to use Ernie Ball super slinky nickel wound strings, so that's what I always used to get for my guitar, and that's what I've got for my guitars all the time for the rest of time. So yeah, I'm certainly not the person to be talking about having tried lots of different strings. I mean, going to classical guitar and playing nylon strings, I mean, there you're going to get a total change because the high E, B and G are going to feel totally different being nylon. But yeah, in terms of other strings that aren't nickel wound, and or might not be nickel, for example, it's not something that I feel like I can talk with any level of expertise or experience. It's just I guess you only feel like, or I might have felt like changing strings if I had tried some other strings at any point, or maybe played somebody else's guitar and the strings were different, so that I might have liked the difference in sound, so therefore I might have said, oh, what strings do you use? And they might have said, it's these, and I might have looked into them and thought, I might try those strings. But that's never happened, that I've played somebody's guitar and I've liked their strings more than the Ernie Ball strings that I've kind of used throughout my lifetime. So yeah, I haven't tried lots of different strings, and stainless steel, and being able to compare. Obviously, for people that don't understand the difference, you've got, and again, I think this is a totally subjective thing, but you've got the changes in brightness in the sound of strings, and then when you want to have a slightly more mellow sound, then you'll go for a different string. And I tend to think that what I've got is a nice balance. I say it's a nice balance. I don't mind when you go through that mellow stage of when you've changed your strings, and obviously they're going to be brighter, have more ping to them, more top end, but then as you play them in and as they age, I don't mind the mellower sound, and I guess that might be part of why I stick with the nickel wound strings, is because when they get to that stage of being more mellow, it probably suits the I was going to say the Fender Strat sound of having your bridge pickup and having the neck pickup, but the neck pickup for that mellow middle sound. I'm talking about kind of EQ here, so that when you're switching between bridge and neck pickups, you're going to get a dramatic difference between those two because of the mellowness of the strings that I think lends themselves to the neck pickup. And I'll just have a look at my guitar in the background. I spend a lot of time on the neck pickup. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this little button here, this switch that changes between these pickups. Let's see if I can judge this. So this is the bridge pickup, which I was saying, you'll get a dramatic difference because this is going to be bright. Then you flick a switch, and you can get a combination of these two, but flick a switch to the middle pickup here, which is going to accentuate the middle frequencies. And here you have the neck pickup, which is the pickup closest to the neck, and that's going to give you more of a bottom end sound. But we're talking about a guitar here, so when I say a bottom end, I'm talking about not going into the bass range or bass frequencies. We're still talking about being in that EQ area where you're accentuating the bottom end of the sound that you're producing. You're not, suddenly now getting bass, resonating. You've got to play a bass for that. So with the guitar, I find that the strings that I use with the Ernie Ball, very long answer to this question, but the Ernie Ball super slinky strings, when they get into that mellow stage of being a little bit worn in, and then I flick up to the neck pickup on my Strat, is just, I like that sound, because I think if you are putting on brand new strings, brand new strings are great and very nice to play, but they can be really responsive if you're wanting to get that kind of mellow sound in the middle and that kind of bottom middly sound. Then you might still be getting a little bit of that ping of the brightness of the fact that they're very new and they haven't really been played in and haven't kind of settled down. So but it's all about what you're into. So it's a subjective thing, but I'm not the person to start commenting on lots of different strings. And let me just see what Vince is saying. Tim Henry of Music Life, if you do Wings Pegasus, there's a better chance that Phil might see. I thought that was going to be related to strings, like maybe a particular channel to go and check out where they might compare different strings, one after the next, and be able to hear the difference, because that's not something that I do or I have done in my music career, changing strings. And I generally just, if I find something that I like, I stick with it. As you can probably tell with the HD 150 behind me, I don't know how old that amp is now, but I just haven't changed it because it does exactly what I wanted the amp to do. So then I feel like, it kind of ticks the box for me. So I think I will have a problem if it starts not working, but I'll get to that when I get to that and probably just get it repaired. But anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Right. Karen has donated £25 as well. So thank you for that, Karen. And that is a straight up donation. And Jacqueline has donated £1.41. So thank you for that. And the message is, I want to post my songs on YouTube, but they aren't yet copyright. Should I hold off? ? So thank you for that, Jacqueline. And the sensible legal answer would be yes, you should hold off. You've got to kind of weigh it up, because let's say, for example, in an alternate universe, you upload your songs anyway, and you haven't made sure that they are covered from that copyright perspective, and for whatever reason, that song that you've uploaded, somebody else records that, or records your video, so now they've got the audio, and somewhere down the line that audio is then used on something, for example an advert or a movie, and the person who's taken your song registered it as theirs. So now they could be making tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad revenue. If we're talking about adverts, but ad revenue on YouTube, if this song's used on a particular video, movie, advert on YouTube, or anywhere on the internet, or played on the radio, it's going to be generating income. And that income goes to whoever owns the song. So, I don't think that's a situation that you ever want to be in, where you're sitting at home and you hear your song. And it is literally exactly the same song on TV. Because then you think, well, how's that happened? And it would have happened exactly how I've said, is that somebody would have noticed that you haven't registered your work, and they'll see that it doesn't get any content ID claims or anything like that. So then they'll register that as their own work, and therefore be getting the revenue. And then you'd have to potentially go through the whole legal case, or the I don't know what to call it, but legal proceedings in order to now try and sue the person. And you're saying, but that's my song, and this is when I wrote it, and here, you'd have to provide the files when you did that and show when you uploaded it to YouTube. And it's going to be very difficult, but you should have the original files if it is your song. Like with, for example, I mean, I own all of my publishing anyway, so but let's pretend that I didn't, and somebody took one of my songs and put it on a video, and then that video got millions or billions of views, and they got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in ad revenue, and then I say, but that's my song. In order to try and prove that, I mean, I can go back to probably the early 2000s and get files from my computer that show that they were created at that time, and it's going to be me singing an early version of whatever that song might have been. So there would be a way of proving that I did write that, X amount of years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, because I have that on my computer. Computers have like metadata, so it records when it was created. So, that'd be a way to prove it. But to get around all of that, I'd say probably you want to make sure they're all covered as soon as before you're putting them out there in any kind of public way, any streaming site or on YouTube. You just want to make sure that it is all covered, and that if there is any ad revenue in the future, and it might even be 5 or 10 years in the future that somebody might take your song and start using it, that make sure that it is covered. And I mean, me personally, what I do is I use a company called TuneCore, and TuneCore are effectively a third-party company that charge you a yearly fee, and it isn't that much. It's like $30 or $50 a year if you want to have your songs on different streaming sites. But I don't do that because I don't really agree with streaming sites. But they can also get your songs on Amazon and iTunes, and that's something that I've done because people will be paying for your music, like 99 pence per song, or £10 for an album, something like that. So they are paying what I as an artist choose to sell the music for, rather than streaming it and people getting it for free. So TuneCore is the company, and with them there's also an option to have them look after the publishing. So it means that it's all automated. So when you say, right, all of the songs that I've just uploaded to TuneCore, I also want you, TuneCore, to take care of flagging whenever this particular song or album is used anywhere on the internet. It's not just for YouTube. But if somebody were to use my song, it means that the person that used the song on their video then gets a copyright claim from TuneCore on behalf of Wings of Pegasus. So that's what I do. And and that's the reason that on my audition where I used That's Metal, my own song, and I own the publishing to that, no matter what happens, even if you go on a TV show, if that song is played, then you will get the ad revenue for that song being played. So, I mean, not that I advise people going on TV talent shows just for that reason, but if you can go on a very well-known show that's shown around the world and get your song on there, it means that you will get the revenue from that particular show being played, because it's exactly the same as YouTube. The audio belongs to me. That's my song. The fact that it's on your show is irrelevant because I own the audio that people are hearing at the moment, throughout that audition. So, this is why, I could have maybe gone on the show and not have owned my publishing, in which case I'm going to be missing out on all of the ad revenue that is happening when that particular song is being played to millions of people at home, for example, and then on YouTube with people watching that audition. So this is why it's very important too. And that was very much me making the point that if you own your publishing, then that's where you want to be, because anyone that uses your songs will have to pay you for them. So I would hold off if I were you, just to be safe. And I know that some people might think, oh yeah, but nobody's ever going to listen to my songs, it's never going to be used worldwide and all that kind of stuff. And I think that might be a natural reaction for people, but there's no harm in being prepared, because we call it sod's law here, that you think, right, nobody's ever going to listen to this, and then you think, but what if it turned into a song that's going to be used all the time, and you're not getting anything for that, for your creativity, for your for your work, for your intellectual property, and all of the ad revenue and royalties that should be coming to you, they are yours. So make sure that you have got copyright organized. And I think the easiest way to do that is probably the way that I've done it through TuneCore. You can also this is something that we do in the UK. You can do a recorded delivery of your own music, sending it to yourself, so that particular package has got its own serial number and code and date, and that's gone through Royal Mail, so they have a record of it when it was posted. And that particular package, you don't open it, but you've got your songs in there. So if anything did come up, then you'd say, well, I've got proof that this was sent, this package, this exact package, which Royal Mail have logged and kept record of, this was posted to me on whenever it was. And then you open the package, and in there will be your songs. So that's something that I think it is a common thing to do here in the UK, but I'd say that if you can't be bothered to do that, and that's something that I did, years and years and years ago, but now that I do it all through TuneCore, then I think if somebody were to try and use one of my songs illegally and pretend that they wrote it, it would be a non-starter, because they've been registered for years and years and years. So they could try and, which is another thing that people are doing now, is taking other people's songs, doing covers of them, and then registering those as their own original work, and that's a different thing. That is still something that is illegal. You can't say that it's an original work when you're covering somebody else's song, but that's another thing entirely. But anyway, that would be my advice, Jacqueline, so thank you for that. And Jacqueline donated again, £1.41. Thank you for that. The message is, can you speak to how people get into jingle creation? Is it a one-off situation, or are there jobs where it's one person who generates these for a particular company? Thanks. Thank you for that. Now, jingle creation isn't something that I've done, but musicians have done that in the past, and I think generally it's because I haven't done it, I would assume it's exactly the same as everything else. Like, if you want to do it, then you've just got to get yourself out there, find the people that are involved with recording jingles or creating jingles for particular shows, talking to producers and trying to get your name in there, and maybe have a few examples that you've made up that you can send to producers that might be working on things that you want to make jingles for, if they are adverts. You might get musicians who, I did, quite a while ago now, I did a little bit of work for, effectively like session work for Universal, and that was just like recording vocals and playing some riffs and doing all this kind of stuff. But that was only through a contact that just happened to listen to my music and check it out. Oh no, it was somebody that they knew was listening to my music, like a producer, and they said, oh, you're into this kind of music, so check out this band. And there's, Wings of Pegasus in my music. And this person was effectively a songwriter / vocal coach / mentor for Universal. So she would help artists kind of teach them to sing a little bit better if they indeed needed that. I'm not saying that was the norm, but that was her job, to help people to become a little bit better. But she was also a songwriter, and she needed a little bit of work for particular songs. Obviously, because she was in the loop, it meant that she would ask me, because she knew that I play guitar and that I could sing. So she would pass a little bit of work over, say, oh, do you have time to do this, and do you have time to do that? And yes, sometimes I wouldn't have time to do anything, but if it was just quickly coming up with a riff or something like that, then I could do that. And generally what would happen in those particular cases, and the way that I did this, I didn't put my name out there. It's just the luck of the draw that somebody happened to be listening to somebody else listening to my music, and then happened to like what I do, got in contact, and then asked me to do some stuff. So and that was always the case. Once you come up with whatever you're being asked to come up with in that session kind of setup, it's all about the agreements that you work out, but you can either get paid royalties on the final product. The way that I did it, I just said, look, I'll do it for X amount of money. And generally, because I was teaching guitar at the time, however long it's going to take me, I just make sure that I was covered for the amount of teaching that I'd have to miss out on in order to record the riffs and the vocals or whatever it might be. So so it was just kind of a one-off payment rather than getting royalties on future releases or anything like that. But what I was doing was very much for demo purposes. So as a songwriter, she'd work with other songwriters, and they had a really basic song, but they needed something that's a little bit kind of better guitar-wise, or maybe a better lead vocal, so that when they took this to the record labels and they had the collection of songs, at least the record label got a good idea of the song, rather than it being so basic that they think, well, we can't really judge what that would sound like as a fully produced song, because the person playing the guitar obviously can't really play guitar very well. So this is it. I was just doing that kind of thing now and again. But I would suggest that to get your foot in the door is what you've got to do in order to get your name out there. Like I said, look into who's doing it, who's in charge of it, and what your idea is. Like if you're thinking of working on adverts or TV, you've just got to look into the adverts that you like, and just the internet is just a treasure trove of information that you can dive into and just find the names of the people that you need to contact, and then just send out some emails and see what happens. So I think it's always the way that I'm not really, it wasn't my focus at all to do any session work at any time, but it's just something that happened to come about, and I just kind of helped the person out, because this person was someone who kind of knew the industry well, but had very similar views to me on the industry as a whole, and the kinds of things that were going on, and especially her being a vocal coach. She knew and knows what goes on in the studios, and the kind of artists that she's working with to try and make them better singers. So there's a lot that we that we agreed about. So there's that common ground as well. So anyway, let me skip this. Right. I am just going to jump over. I think we're now up to date in that PayPal window. So thank you for that, Jacqueline. And as for if it's a one-off situation or not, like in my particular case, I did multiple things, just kind of as and when I could do them, because there's always new songs and tracks that she was getting and having to work on. So there generally is going to be a situation where if you're good, you can do lots of jingles, and if a company need a particular jingle and they've got someone reliable who can, you know, turn it around quickly, and again, this is an important part of it, that if you're reliable and you can do it quickly, like if they said, oh, can you come up with this, you know, and then you come up with it that day or the next day, then yeah, you want to make sure that you're more reliable and, you know, just give a better service than everybody else, and then you'll find that you'll get asked to do lots of different things, yeah, if you can achieve that. So yeah, it can be the case that it's just one person who's doing, you know, especially if they're independent and not employed by the company, they can be a freelance jingle creator and just, you know, do what they do for lots of different companies and be in demand. But yeah, this is it, that one person can do a lot for a lot of different companies. But thank you for that, Jacqueline. So, oh, hang on, it's almost midnight. So I've been answering questions in a very long way tonight, and we're looking for, by the way, 24 more people to hit the thumbs up. If you could hit the thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. Right, we have had some donations in the super chat window. Again, thank you for this. Elaine's donated $2 and says potato with a smiley face, so thank you for that. Maltese has donated $9.99 and says, good evening, Phil. May I give a gentle tickler that your hair appointment is due? So thank you for that. Yes, it is on Thursday, 2 days time, and you can see it's going in my eyes a little bit, but actually it should be going in my eyes a lot more, but it's kind of it's, for some reason, it's managing to maintain its height or its volume or whatever it's doing, the fringe, because yeah, if it were straight I wouldn't be able to see. But haircut Thursday. Vince donated $2. Thank you for that, Vince. The message is, Phil, I've used Super Slinkies for years. So another Super Slinky user in Vince, and yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say. Right, TX Gal, maybe Texas Gal Forever, has donated $5. So thank you for that. And the message is, thanks, Phil, for all the great music as well as videos. Cheers from Texas. So thank you for that. And right, yeah, I mean, looking at my hair, it's if it was straight, it would be, let me see when okay, right, so it would be down to here. So I think I'm going to have to say, yeah, maybe take off quite a lot of the length, or I don't know how long it's going to be left. I'll find out, but I think I don't ever really know how long my hair is from the back, because it might go halfway down my back and I don't even realise, and it might actually do that. So I'll have to she does show the mirror at the back for all the kind of layers and stuff that's going on. But yeah, most important thing is to be able to see. That's always the first port of call. So right, let me jump into the vote for tonight, and it's 50% for Hero. So it looks like, I mean, it is going to be super close. I'm going to click on that, end the poll, and see if Hero was still in the lead. And it was. Hero has 50% of the vote, and Silence is Broken has 49% of the vote. Well, at least the maths is understandable tonight for YouTube, because sometimes it says 50% and then 47% for, yeah, the other song, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So we are going to be jumping into Hero, Chad Kroeger, from the Superman movie. And yeah, Chad is from Nickelback, for those of you that don't know or care about that kind of thing. So yeah, my version of, I don't know whether you can call this the Chad Kroeger classic, but it's from the Spider-Man movie. So for me, even though I didn't even know that before I did it, is a classic from the Spider-Man movie. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
so high, I can hear heaven. I'm so high, I can hear heaven. But heaven, no heaven, don't hear me. They say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Hold on to the wings of the eagles, watch as they all fly away. Someone told me love will all save us. But how can that be? Look what love gave us. A world full of killing, blood spilling, the word never came. They say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Hold on to the wings of the eagles, watch as they all fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now that the world isn't ending, it's love that I'm sending to you. It isn't the love of a hero, and that's why I fear it won't do. They say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Hold on to the wings of the eagles, watch as they all fly away. They're watching us, they're watching us, as we all fly away. They're watching us, they're watching us, as we all fly away. They're watching us, they're watching us, as we all fly away. Whoa.
And there we have it. That was my version of Hero from the Spider-Man movie. And when I say Spider-Man movie, I'm talking about the one with Tobey Maguire, is it? I think. And yeah, you had like the Octavius guy and the Green Goblin. No, it was Green Goblin guy first, then Octavius, and then the Sandman person. And it wasn't Mr. Sandman. It wasn't that. It was a man made of sand. So, and then there's another one. Was that happened at the same time? Which was like this gooey stuff that happened. And that was. But I think there were 3 movies with Tobey Maguire. I can't remember. But yeah, not the new ones. As you can tell from Chad Kroeger doing it and Nickelback and all that kind of stuff, was probably a very long time ago. So, right, we are going to be jumping into the Phil Jam because we have reached the target of 400 likes. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. You can continue to do that if indeed you want to, because it really helps the channel to get out there. And for the live streams to get out there as well, and just for everything to grow and keep going in the right direction. So yeah, if you're watching this on catch up in the future, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. So, there has been another couple of donations. Jennifer's donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, 2 quick questions. Would you ever cover a Beatles tune? And what is your favourite Beatles song? Glad you changed to new company. So thank you for that. Now, I've been asked this before, and I think I probably listed either 3 or 5 Beatles songs. So I'm going to go with probably the one that is kind of in my mind at the moment. I thought, well, it's a similar kind of thing that it might suit my voice more, is Yesterday, because it's slower tempo, and it's maybe would be interesting to do a slightly different version of it, but not change the tempo or anything. But yeah, so that's what I go with, Yesterday. And yeah, as for my favourite song, I always said that the first song that I didn't really understand what it was Eleanor Rigby, and it just sounded really weird to me. But I was a kid when I heard it, so it sounded really weird, but there's just something different about it. And I think with the Beatles, like, so many of their songs are so different, and if you start comparing, like Help and I Want to Hold Your Hand and Eleanor Rigby, Yellow Submarine, yeah, you definitely get a mix. So but anyway, I'll go with Yesterday. And as for favourite, I don't think I've really got a favourite Beatles song, but I think, yeah, Yesterday has to be, if there were a favourite, has to be quite far up there. Anyway, we will jump into the PayPal window as well. Jacqueline's donated £1.41 again, so thank you for that. £1.41, and says, please say the word governor. It's for science. Thanks again. So there you go. Let me grab the guitar, because we are going to be having a Phil jam. Oh, okay, right. We're definitely on. And now let me turn on the mic so that you guys can actually hear the guitar as well. Oh, what's going on here? Am I even zoomed in? I wasn't even zoomed in for this whole live stream, but then I did say at the beginning that I was rushing and hadn't set anything up. But this is set up, hopefully. Right, now the problem here is 8 minutes 48. Let's click on this quickly and see what happens. All right, so this is let me get this organized. Spacey progressive 13/8 backing track / guitar jam B minor, and then in brackets, I'm nowhere to be found. And this is from Pat Matroni on YouTube, and this is 13/8, so it means that you're not going to be able to tap your foot to this. It's going to always catch you out. Let's have a listen, see what's going on, and let me know what the levels are like. Oh, we're heavy. Okay, 2 minutes left. And there we have it. So I saw that a box came up on screen, which usually means it's going to be linking to another video, which usually means it's towards the end of the track. So I thought, when I was doing these pull-offs, I thought, oh, this might end here. Yeah. It didn't end, so I went, and it didn't end, so I went. I did a harmonic, and it didn't end, so I did another harmonic, and then it did end. So all through that last part, I was trying to figure out if it was ending. So I gave myself 4 different options, and yeah, the final option worked. So there we have it. And that was Spacey Progressive 13/8 backing track / guitar jam B minor. I'm nowhere to be found in brackets from Pat Matrone or Pat Matrone on YouTube. So right, we're gonna have to have a picture corner in the next live stream because we've run out of time tonight, but also I didn't set it up beforehand, so I'll have to do that for Saturday when I'll have a little bit more time to organise everything. So we're going to be calling it to a close for tonight. Just quickly, Malteser donated $4.99. Thank you for that. And the message is minoxidil real works. Babies are growing lots of new hairs when their carers don't wash their hands. So thank you for that. I don't know anything about that. Well, I know what minoxidil is, but it's generally used, or at least used for guys to keep their hair in and stop it from falling out. But I do know that some guys grow back some hair with minoxidil, but generally it's always just to keep the hair you've got in your head and stopping it from falling out. So anyway, thank you for that. David donated $2, so thank you for that, David. And that's a straight up donation. And did something happen over here? Yeah, Laura donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, oh, Phil, don't forget Picture Corner. So yeah, we'll have to do that. It's already gone 20 past midnight here in the UK. So we're going to have to do that in the next live stream where we'll have a bumper edition of Picture Corner. So Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'll be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. As always, live streaming on Saturday night. So, yeah, hopefully you guys can make it then, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, as always. And all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!